The gentlelady yields. I now recognize the gentlelady from Georgia, Ms. Greene.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Just last week, we witnessed here in this building, in the Cannon building, Democrat members of Congress lead in radical, leftist, communist, and pro-Hamas terrorist groups in what we would call an insurrection. If January 6th was an insurrection, this was absolutely an insurrection of terrorism. They brought them in this building. We have watched, just as you mentioned a few minutes ago in your testimony, we have watched Iran's treatment of women, which is horrific, but I want you to know it aligns with the Biden administration's treatment of women. While they replace women in our sports, in jails, in our women's clinics with trans men and say that these men that pose as women have the same rights as we do, and they absolutely do not. And we have the Biden administration. Joe Biden, the president of the United States, wants $100 million given to Gaza, which is Hamas. That money will absolutely be given to Hamas terrorism. Ironically, $100 million is the exact same amount that Iran gives to Hamas every single year. There's so many similarities there. It is unbelievable. In 2014, during the Obama administration, the Iranian Foreign Ministry established what they called an Iran Experts Initiative. The purpose of this initiative was to build ties with a global network of prominent academics and researchers, including in the U.S. to improve Iran's image on global security issues. They have quite an image. As stated in your testimony, at least 2 of the people on the foreign ministry's list were or became top aides to Robert Malley, the Biden administration's special envoy on Iran. Mr. Greenway, isn't it true that Iran has succeeded in obtaining unprecedented access to and influence over the U.S. administration's policy toward Tehran?
It would appear so. It's in a twist of irony. The Biden administration has employed those under the control or influence of Iran to negotiate with Iran.
Isn't it true that at least 3 people selected by the Islamic Republic's foreign ministry were senior aides to Robert Malley, the Biden administration's special envoy on Iran?
At least 3, and he was pulled from his former position because of his relationship with Hamas.
And that's why he lost his security clearance, is that correct?
Insofar as we know, ma'am.
Isn't it true that former member of Robert Malley's Iran negotiating team, Ariana Tabatabai, was in close contact with the Iranian regime for years?
She cleared foreign travel documents and talking points as far as we know, Congressman.
Isn't it true that she participated in regime-backed Iran Experts Initiative, which was stood up by Iranian foreign ministry officials in the spring of 2014?
Yes, ma'am.
Is it your understanding that the Iran Experts Initiative was launched to bolster Iran's image on security matters like its nuclear program?
It is.
Is it true that Iran chants death to Israel and death to America?
They do.
Despite all of this, the Biden administration hired her as a top official within the Department of Defense, where she continues to hold a top security secret clearance, which affords one access to our nation's sensitive secrets. Isn't that true?
It is.
Is it safe to assume that the Biden administration may have been influenced by the Iranian regime?
It certainly appears that way.
It appears that way to me, too. Ms. Ali Najad, I'm sorry if I mispronounced that.
Don't worry, I'm used to it. People butcher my name.
It's okay, mine too. As an Iranian American and someone who has been directly targeted by the regime, what do you make of the allegations surrounding Mr. Malley and others implicated in the Iran Experts Initiative?
It broke Iranians' heart because we believe that when it comes to equality, freedom, doesn't matter whether you're Republican or Democrats, you have to support the voice of Iranian people. He downplayed our cause and he said that the Iranian people want reform and respect from the government. So.
As a woman,
I want to add something about Ariana Tabatabai. While people in Iran were chanting against the Islamic Republic and wanting to have an end for this regime, she came out publicly saying that don't take it, Iranians outside serious when they say we want regime change, because protesting became part of Iranians' culture, and this is going to go away. And that's sad, because thousands of people got killed and arrested for participating in that protest. It's not part of our culture. It's part of the frustrations of Iranian people trying to end the regime within the country.
Just one more question.
Well,
As a woman,
actually, we've got to move on. I'm so sorry. And I put this out earlier that I'm going to be tight on time this time. I think you may not have been here, but I have done that to both sides. So sorry.